10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Hello and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is December 6th and we're going to get started with news of yesterday's big rETH burn. So we know that we got 20,000 ETH rETH that was burned back into the deposit pool, and we got news. It was breaking news at the time of when I was recording the episode, so we didn't know who it was or what it was or what was happening. But here Patrick from Gov Alpha says it looks like 7 siblings rotating out of their maker vault. So that was the first indication that we got of who it was, and then we got a little bit more information here as well. So Patrick says they seem to like maker core vaults, probably due to Lindy. They also historically have used Compound and Aave a lot, and though looking at Debank, they're using more for Aave vaults at the moment. And then Jasper replied by saying rETH is available on those Morpho Aave vaults as well. So if they were just changing their position around, it didn't make sense for them to sell, get rid of to burn their rETH. What they could have done is just moved it to a different vault that was going to work as well. But then what happened is, during yesterday's episode, we saw that the first 10,000 was there was a lot of minting going on with new rETH, and then with the second 10,000 left us at around 8,000 RPL, which was actually 9,000 RPL. I think 9,000 rETH, which was kind of around 50% of the time. Well, the premium went away, of course, because that was botted away, and our bots saw that the secondary market had a premium. There was space in the deposit pool, so that was gone. This percentage right here, it costs 0.05% to mint your rETH, and that's mint fee. And that was so this was a very slight discount basically on the secondary market, which is kind of like balanced, which is great. Because that works. But then what happened is almost right away after making the episode, we started seeing a whole lot of big deposits coming in, and there were like literally thousands upon thousands of rETH being minted. And you can see here, like, this was all after the episode was made. So there were a whole lot of whale splashes going on, which was really amazing to see, because people weren't sure how long it was going to take for the deposit pool to be filled again. Well, we got our answer pretty much right away, and it was filled within 3 hours. So Jasper here had a message in trading saying the deposit pool is full. And then if Jasper was kind of tweeting it out as it was going on during the day yesterday, and he says, "Oh my God, the deposit pool is full. Good luck next time." So 10,000 ETH was in 3 hours, and that was after the initial round of getting full, right? So there was 20,000 rETH that was burned, so that made 20,000 ETH worth of space in the deposit pool. Of course, the deposit pool is 18,000, but in between the first and second burn, people had already minted a whole bunch of rETH. So the whole amount, we got 20,000, nearly, I think 16,000 rETH coming into the deposit pool yesterday. Which we can see here on Rocket Scan as well, is that yesterday was the biggest day of minting since June, but I'll show you that in a minute. But right now the deposit pool is full, at 99.99% full, so it's perfectly balanced. And yesterday there was 15,800 ETH minted on the contracts because there was space. So you have to go back all the way to June 5th to get a day that was bigger than yesterday in terms of minting. So I think people are starting to read into this, saying that there is demand for rETH at PEG, and if we could somehow have space in the deposit pool, then there's potentially a whole lot of rETH waiting to mint rETH. I think if we get LEB4s, then if we could do that safely, I think this is a really encouraging sign. Getting 15,000 ETH into the deposit pool in one day is like fantastic. I think there's a lot of scope for big growth here for rETH, and I'm really excited to see how that happens. Basically, like Hopefully this time next year, Rocket Pool is going to be a very different protocol. It's going to be much bigger and it's going to be much better as well. So he is hoping. Okay, yesterday we had a bi-weekly update from Mav. So Mav says, hey everyone, the ultimate bi-weekly update for 2023 is available now on Medium. There's a link and we're going to go through that in a minute. It says the next few community calls are currently being shuffled a little and we should have the updated schedule within 24 hours. We're finalizing sponsorship and travel plans for ETH Denver. If you're going to be in town during the main event, February 29th to March 3rd, drop a rocket reaction on the message here to help us plan, and then there's a link to conferences, and if you go there it says drop a rocket here. Let's see who's dropped a rocket. So I dropped a rocket because I'm hoping to be there, and then we have Dan from SimonSD.eth, Schifrin is going to be there, Nick, Kevster, D McCartney, Encryptix, Metro, Steve, Mav himself, Highflyer.eth, and Sneaky. So I'm sure that, you know, by the time ETH Denver comes along, there'll be potentially hundreds of rocket poolers going to the event, which is going to be amazing. So now let's have a look at the bi-weekly update. So our ETH supply grew by 9.1% annualized. Validator count grew to 26,000, so that's an annualized growth of 22%, and node operator count grew to 3,400, which is an annualized growth of 29%. So here we have news of the smart node stack version 1.11.1 being upgraded to, it says the latest version is recommended for all node operators, and includes improved support for rescue node, which we covered yesterday. For R&D, it says initial Houston audits are wrapping up. So far there have been no major findings, which is fantastic, and work has started to resolve some minor issues. And it says updates to new website copy and design, so that's still getting some touches, and then updates to the layer 2 price oracles, which is great because we want our ETH to be everywhere. In governance, we had a rocket pool convention at Denver was proposed. We covered that from Ken. A living informational RPIP was created to detail committee membership. There was discussion about new process for releases. The latest PDAO and GMC Treasury reports were available. OpenUX published their initial survey findings, and polling on 4 RPIPs concluded, and they will move to review status in preparation for finalization. Some discussion followed. So I think those votes should be going live any day now. Integrations, rETH is now on Yearn's YETH. It's a basket of LSTs, and rETH is now one of them. Spark increased the rETH supply cap, and we have a lending platform added support for RPL, which is CoinRabbit loans. With all of these, please do your own research, of course. With media marketing, we had Rocket Pool covered in CoinDesk and Bitcoin.com, and then we had smoothing pool news about the big blocks that it received, and then that led to the APR being the highest amongst LSTs. We also had news of Rocket Pool's TVL growth, and now how it's getting larger, and you see the 6th or the 7th depending on how you measure it. And then more exchange listings for RPL, and more content was created highlighting DeFi opportunities for rETH. And then there was Stella was a community call guest, and the WAC represented Rocket Pool on the SSV space, so that was nice. Thanks, Mav, for that. So that was the bi-weekly update, and everything in there is good. Okay, news that's not so good is, some of you know that the RPL token's been a little bit underperforming in recent weeks, and one of the consequences of that is that RPL has dropped out of the top 100 tokens on CoinGecko. If we have a look, over here, right now I just refreshed the page and it's actually at rank number 100, but just a little while ago it was a rank 101. But that's a little bit disappointing because we've not kind of kept up with market moves recently. A lot of people are hoping that we will get a rotation into alts once Bitcoin kind of like slows down a little bit, and that, as you can see, so it's just gone back up to number 100, but when I was gathering this information it was number 101, so hopefully we'll be going back back up again soon. So the market cap right now for RPL is around 595 million, and at peak around Atlas and Shanghai, we were number 44. So that would put us at basically around 1.6 billion market cap. So to be back to that point, you know, we'd have to be basically nearly like 2 times, well, 2 market caps addition to where we are now, but it's just a little bit less than that. So like a 3x from where we are, which is a shame, but you know, hopefully we'll get those ratio gains at some point and we'll move up these charts, because that would be nice. But yeah, there's a long way to go, and you know, this is bull market time, and as long as, you know, we're thereabouts and we're still in the conversations, then that's really cool. One nice thing is that, you know, the rETH is still is doing well. It's the number 53, and it has a market cap of 1.33 billion basically. So as more ETH goes into rETH, then we will hopefully climb the rankings there, because if you have a look, Lido's STETH is actually where is Lido's STETH? Oh, I think there it is, like number 8. So it's one of the, by market cap, it's one of the top tokens. So hopefully rETH will be able to climb the rankings like that and become one of the top tokens as well. Okay, next we had this update from Jasper, who was retweeting Stakewise. So Stakewise originally was saying that our new osETH farm on Curve Finance has just launched, and it's a decentralization maxi's dream. So get the best of both Stakewise and Rocket Pool as liquidity in the osETH rETH pool. Earn ETH rewards from both protocols, trading fees, and you get SYS incentives. So they'll be giving out their tokens incentives too. It says navigate to Curve Finance and type in osETH to find the OS-rETH pair, the pool, and then enter the amounts that you'd like to deposit and confirm the transaction. It says while Curve allows to deposit liquidity at any ratio, we recommend depositing to a 1 rETH to a 1.09 osETH to avoid the potential price impact from adding random amounts of assets. So this is once the transaction is complete, you become a liquidity provider in the osETH rETH pool and start earning trading fees and staking rewards from both Stakewise and Rocket Pool. Like with Balancer, you must also stake your Curve LP tokens to start receiving SYS rewards on top. This is follow the Curve user interface and 1 approved tokens for spending and sign the transaction when prompted. Once signed, your Curve liquidity providing tokens will be locked and you will start earning the SYS incentives in full, along with rewards from their trading and staking. And to see your accumulated SYS rewards, Stakewise rewards, and claim them, navigate to the withdraw button. So it tells you step by step of how you can do it and what you're supposed to do, which is really nice. So this actually can, just like it did with Rocket Pool and the rETH and WSTETH pool that we had on Curve, you know, nearly 2 years ago now, that was a sort of vampire attack at the time. With this, it could technically be construed as a similar way, but what's interesting here is that, you know, and what the members of the IMC were saying was, as much as, you know, you provide incentives to an rETH osETH pair, what you should also be doing is building up a strong osETH ETH pair alongside any like liquidity pairs. LST pairs that you have. Jasper here said, very happy to see the first dual permissionless staking liquidity position. Anyone can run a validator and support rETH and osETH, making this Curve LP unique in the world of DeFi. Maybe we see some tag team incentives roll out. So of course Jasper is on the IMC, so he would know if there are any core incentivizations happening, and it likely will happen because, you know, we want additional rETH liquidity wherever we can get it. So this is a great like start. I totally expect that we'll be getting DevETH, rETH pairs as well, and those kind of things will hopefully be coming in the next year. What I really want to start seeing is tokens having their liquidity with rETH that have nothing to do with liquid staking. So like Uni rETH and the Aave token in rETH and all these other ERC20s. Once we get to that point, that would be really great. And I think that's the holy grail for LSTs. And their liquidity and their size basically is if they can become like the default, if they can replace wrapped ETH on these liquidity platforms, on these exchanges like AMMs and stuff, then that's the best outcome that you can have. I just hope that it's a decentralized option and not STETH or wrapped STETH for that. Okay, let's go back to the Discord now, and here we have information about Rocket Pool University testing. So Rocket Pool University was a grant that Dr. Doofus won from the GMC and was awarded from the GMC, and this is a website that will give like courses about using Rocket Pool and giving users information, and they'll earn POAPs. So here we have Rocket Pool University testing. So it says interested in beta testing Rocket Pool University. I need a few people to go through the course and give me feedback. I don't care if you have no feedback, but to get the beta testing POAP and any other potential reward, you would need to go through the entire course and pass it. I'm not hiding the URL necessarily, but I must know you and approve you testing for you to get the POAP. If interested, let me know here. It's okay if it takes a while to complete the course. I'm looking to go live with this by the end of December. So a whole bunch of people started saying that we'd like to test it. There's Object and Al, Sonixia, Meg, and Spoople, and Woe, and Sneaky, and then there was me as well. Very much I was interested. So I'm going to get started on this and start working through the course and giving my feedback. And here you need to get the green tick from Dr. Doofus to make sure that you're eligible. Otherwise your testing will be not counted and you won't get the POAP. So people already started giving feedback here, so there's information there, and then this is what the POAP will look like. So it's a beta tester for Rocket Pool University, which is really cool. And then a whole bunch of people were starting to give feedback, some about like language and some of the lessons, some about how you take the quizzes and like the setup of the questions, and other people were just giving more detailed feedback as well, like Shifrin, here Sneaky gave a whole bunch of feedback saying, I'm through to end of lesson 3, but I had to head out for a bit. I'm going to dump my notes here up to this point. So there's a whole bunch of like feedback as well. So you can go take the course, give the feedback, and get a POAP, which is really cool. Okay, next we've got news of Pat, my co-host on the Weekly Orbit, or I'm his co-host, I guess, because it's his show. He met up with Ali Ask in Melbourne, because he's in Melbourne right now. In another world, I would have been in Melbourne right now as well, but that trip fell through for me. But we would have been having a Weekly Orbit gathering in Melbourne otherwise, but sadly that wasn't to be. But here we have Pat and Ali Ask meeting up in Melbourne, which is really cool. Ali Ask, if I remember correctly, met up with Ramana when he was in Melbourne a few weeks ago too. So this is really cool, and I always love Rocket Pool meetups. I think they're so much fun. So it's really great that this meetup happened in Melbourne. It looks like it's nice and sunny there, and they're wearing t-shirts, which is definitely nicer than the Midwest winter that I'm stuck in, but oh well. I'm not too jealous. Okay, next we had this comment from Invis, and this what comes after this is really spoke to me. So Invis says, names just don't stick in my brain. I literally forget them seconds after being told them. So it's not necessarily that part, but this part from Baked In. And there's a meme here, and he says, "Hi, my name is Jason." And this person talking, and the person says, "Oh, nice to meet you, Jason," and then gets the name and tries to put it in their brain. But the biggest part of the brain is RPL facts, and then there's a smaller part saying friends, smaller part saying family, and there's no space for Jason's name in there. So it says, "Say Jarvis, did you know the deposit pool filled up in under 3 hours yesterday?" So this really speaks to my soul, because I'm this person, so my brain is full of Rocket Pool information, and not just RPL facts, but RP facts, like Rocket Pool facts. But yeah, I thought I'd share that with you all, because that was kind of funny. I really liked it, and it got a whole lot of kicks. It got 26 kick modes, so that's pretty good. Okay, finally, we're going to finish today's episode with some execution layer data, execution client data. And this has been a hot topic for quite a while, in that people have been wanting to know exactly what the makeup of the execution layer clients are, because the data's not been so good so far. So we know that gETH is a super majority and we don't want that anymore, but no one really knew who was using gETH, where they were using gETH until now. Now we've got Etherclients.com, which is a new website that kind of used a new method of trawling the layer 1 data, the execution client data, and it found that there's basically 29,500 nodes running on Ethereum. I think some of these might be dead nodes. There might be some that are counted in a way that's not the most accurate, but the gist of it is right. Is like, there's a huge number of nodes in Ethereum. What's interesting here was that Aragon was number 2, which I was kind of surprised by. We had gETH number 1, Aragon number 2, Nethermind, then Bisu, and then Ethereum Scraper, then rETH, and Core gETH and Open Ethereum, and they had to have over 10 people using that client for it to be counted. But this was really nice in that it gives you a whole lot of information about who the people using these clients are. So as I go to browse nodes, you can see that you get the ID, the node ID, then you get their IP address, you get their country, you get what client they're running, what version of the client they're running, then you also find out what operating system they're running as well, and when they were last seen by the scraper or the tool to get this information. So Fizz says that this is really big and it will improve the ability of researchers to identify the execution client of large providers and give the community tools to put pressure on them to change to minority execution clients. This is the same way we made huge leaps in the consensus client effort, thanks in very large part to our own Invis and Hani Abu. Invis was the first to map entity data to client type using Michael Spruill's block parent tool, and Hani presented that in a very consumable format with clientdiversity.org. And then we had information from Invis saying that this is just an improved version of Ethernodes. It's kind of like saying Brave is really big, even though at the end of the day it's just Chromium with some quality of life tweaks. So Invis loves like putting people right with his information. But Fizz then followed up with this tweet here saying a rough roadmap to execution client diversity. So it says, number 1, develop data identifying entity execution clients. 2, develop risk analysis for poor diversity. 3, evaluate and promote alternative execution clients. 4, educate community and entities with this data. And then 5, leverage the community to lean on unmotivated entities. So that's a really cool plan. It says the post details our previous consensus client diversity initiative, and I think that's a fair template for our current work. And there's a brief history of how that the Prism supermajority kind of got fixed, and now we have a healthier but not totally healthy state on the consensus layer side. So then Fizz gave a shout out to people who've been involved in the past and kind of helped get that information. And yeah, that's really, really great stuff from Fizz, and of course from the people who developed Etherclients. That's right, yeah, Etherclients.com, and huge shout out to them for their work. And I think that this will be a really great tool to help us find like who is using what client and then try to get that fixed. So on that note, I'm going to end today's episode. Thank you all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.